I've created a simple calculator. I will show how it works firstly, and then I will explain the whole code I've got here. So let's start the app. So firstly, we need to choose the right operator. So we can multiply, divide, add, and subtract numbers. For example, we want to multiply two numbers, so we choose the right option. Then we need to choose the first number, which is, let's say, 5. The second number, let's say 5 again. And we've got the result, which is 25. We can also divide numbers. So let's say again, it's 25 divided by 5. We've got 5. We can add numbers. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. So that's basically how this app works. Very simple app. Also, if instead of writing the right operator, we decide to write some letters instead, just by mistake. The app will say that the operator is invalid, and we've got the option to choose the right operator again. So let's say we want to multiply two numbers, and then instead of writing the actual number, we again by mistake just write some letters, and we're not getting any error, any mistake. The app will just say that the input is invalid, and we can basically write the right number again. So we can choose multiply 5 by 5 and got 25, so everything works perfectly. But again, if we make a mistake and instead of writing the right number, we will just choose some letters, we've got this text that says that input is invalid. So very simple app, and right now I'll explain the whole code, how it works, what it does. So firstly, we've got some imports. So we're importing some libraries that are essential for our app, and yeah, so basically we need to import those libraries that we're using. Further libraries are basically already written code that like some functions and so on that we can use in our application without writing them again. So it's like pre-written code that is very useful for us. Then we've got namespace std. Basically, what it does, it allows us not to use std every single time when we want to output something or input something. So normally, like here on the line 16, I've got c out calculator, and normally we would have to write it like std and like this. But since we are telling our applications that we're using the standard on the line 10, we don't need to write std every single time when we need to output or input anything. So it just makes the code look nicer. And on the line 12, I declare that I've got a function with the name calc that accepts two arguments. First one is a string, and then just two numbers. And what it function does is returns a value that is a number. Uh, so it's just basically a function declaration, but the definition of the function is below. So I've got it here at the end of the code. Again, it just accepts three arguments, and then based on the operator, can be plus, minus, multiply, divide, we return the value, uh, and that's what this function does. Uh, so let's go to the main function. So the main function is like the main function, and the whole application starts from this function. So first of what user sees is that it's a calculator. So on the line 16 we just see that it's just an output. Then we've got a loop, which is an infinitive loop because uh, it's always true. So based on the value here, uh, so if it's, for example, if it would be false, this loop wouldn't work. It wouldn't even start. But since it's true, the value is always true. This is infinitive function. I'm using this loop just so you could ask, you could write. I mean, choose some options for calculating over again. So firstly, we've got some outputs, uh, which is basically uh, just outputs. You didn't do anything. Then we declare some variables. First one is operator, and then two numbers. Then we accept. So we've got an input. So user can write the operator, and it will be saved in this calc operator variable. Then if we've got some like error check, so if user decides to write anything but not those operators, so not plus, minus, multiply, divide, then the loop will be broken. So not broken, but it will be like just all the code will be skipped below, and the loop will start again. So the app will ask the user to choose the right operator again. Um, but if the user writes the right operator, this if statement won't be activated and it will be just skipped. And then user will be asked to write the first number. It will be saved in num1 variable, and then we've got some error check again. So if it's not a number, then user will see this message invalid input, and then there are a couple of lines that basically just are clearing the error, so we wouldn't get anything, and our application would work correctly, and then our loop will start again. So from the start, so user will have to choose the right operator and choose the first number again. Then after the first number, user will have to write the second number. It will be saved in num2 variable. Again, we've got some error checking. So if it's an actual number, there is no error, and what happened then? We'll see the result based on the work of the calc function. So basically, what this application does, it saves uh, the operator and two numbers in three variables. Then it uses calc function, which is here, and returns the correct value based on the operator. And we basically see the right output, and then the loop starts again. So we can choose another two numbers and get the right answer. So this is how this app works. Um, then we've got also system pause. What it does, uh, so when the app stops working, so it lets window not to close, but just stay as it was before, and we're returning 0. So it basically just shows that the apps work correctly, everything uh, was perfect, and there was no mistake. And that's it, basically. So, yeah.